Hi and welcome to tutorial 16, Reflective Practice. Reflection or reflective practice is a really important skill that you'll use throughout your university and your professional career. In the next two tutorials we're going to look at reflection in detail. The first one is going to help you understand what we mean by reflection, and the second tutorial will help you develop reflective writing skills. Now in this tutorial we're going to look at what reflective practice is, the importance of reflective practice, and barriers to reflection. To be able to write reflectively, you need to have a clear understanding of what reflection is. For practicing professionals, reflective practice has been described as the practitioner's ability to assess, make sense of, and learn through work experience to achieve more desirable, effective, and satisfying work. If we break this process down, reflection is where you look back at something that happened, and this could be, for example, when you were working with a service user or when you were working within a multidisciplinary team. You then analyse what happened, and analysing means thinking in depth to help you explain what happened or to reach new understandings about what happened, and then thinking very carefully about why it happened and what you can learn from it as a practising professional. To understand why something happened, you often need to draw upon other sources, so this could be the perspectives of others or relevant literature. Many of the benefits of our learning experiences are simply lost if we don't look back on them and take some time to make sense of them or unpack them. And this sort of unpacking process involves a deep level of analysis that helps us understand our experiences and learn from them. So importantly, reflection is not where you just simply mull things over in a kind of superficial way. It's where you purposely think about something that happened so that you can understand it in more detail. Here the examples show the difference between superficial and deep reflection. In the superficial analysis, the reflector simply thinks about what happened, but in the deep analysis the reflector also analyses what happened. And this analysis allows the reflector to learn from the experience, in this case, that they were more skilled than they'd actually originally given themselves credit for. So the more depth you go into in your analysis, the clearer your understanding of it will be. So reflective practice isn't a straightforward process, it's often quite a gradual process that can be time consuming. And to do it well, you need to ask yourself challenging questions about why and how things happened the way they did. So for example, why you responded the way you did, and this can often be quite uncomfortable. So why is reflective practice such an important skill? Well, developing skills as a reflective practitioner is really important for your professional development. If it's done properly, you'll learn from your experiences, and that learning will then help you improve your practice. If you don't reflect on your experiences, you're not really giving yourself that opportunity to learn from what goes well and what doesn't go so well. And at the end of the day, reflection is not a skill that you can avoid. It's ongoing throughout your university coursework and your professional career. Some other opportunities provided by reflection are that it helps you make that link between theory and practice. And it's also make you a bit more self-aware, so that'll give you a much better insight into why you behave the way that you do in certain situations and why other people behave in certain ways in certain situations, which can be really valuable. So what kinds of experiences should you reflect on? Well, there are lots and lots of different experiences that offer us opportunities to learn through reflection. Examples include just an ordinary experience. It doesn't have to be something life-changing. It could simply be a conversation that you've had with a service user, for example. It could be, another example could be where an experience didn't turn out as you'd expected. These are the kind of experiences that we most often reflect on, and I guess they tend to offer the most scope for learning. So that could be, for example, where you gave a presentation that you felt could have gone much better than it actually did. Other examples include an experience where you had to problem solve through reflection. You might analyse whether you'd arrived at the right solution or whether there was something better that you could have done. Experiences that change your perspective. These are big life-changing events that result in you changing your views about something, and obviously these kind of events don't happen very often, but they do offer valuable opportunities for reflection. And finally, things that you can reflect on include negative and positive experiences. There's a tendency for us to focus on events where things went badly, but actually by reflecting on experiences where things have gone well, as in the example that we gave earlier, we can learn a lot about our skills, and that can then help to enhance our confidence. Before we finish this tutorial, it's useful to consider some of the barriers to effective reflection. As we mentioned earlier, reflection can be quite an uncomfortable process because it might require you to analyse an experience that really you would rather forget, or it might challenge you to work out why something didn't go as well as it could have done. But to reflect effectively, you do have to be ready and be prepared to go there and experience a level of discomfort in that process. And sometimes this does require us to stand back from a situation for a while before we're able to make sense of it. Other barriers include failing to acknowledge your own feelings. So sometimes we do bury our feelings or we hide them, but effective reflection requires us to be honest with ourselves and analyse our true feelings. Failing to see how your behaviour could have affected others is another important barrier, because sometimes we can be too focused on how other people have treated us, rather than thinking about how what we do affects other people. Remember that reflection does require analysis of events from different perspectives, so it's important to try and think about how what you do could potentially affect other people. And finally, failing to accept constructive criticism can be a barrier to effective reflection. Now let's face it, accepting criticism can be quite difficult. It's easy to get defensive and switch off when we're criticised. But constructive criticism does offer important opportunities for us to improve our practice. The key points of this tutorial are: reflective practice is an important skill that will assist you in your professional development. It involves analysing your experiences in order to learn from them and enhance your professional practice. It requires a deep level of analysis in order to understand and learn from your experiences. Simply mulling things over is not reflection, and it can be an uncomfortable process. It requires honesty and analysis of events from different perspectives. Now that you've got a much better understanding of what reflection is, you're now ready for the next tutorial, which is the final tutorial, which will look at reflective writing.